very tiring, very challenging, and we are glad it's over. The routes were a rerun of last year's rally with a little change. But I think the rains made the playground more fun. Well, and as you all know, my previous navigator decided mid-season to let go because he had new commitments with jobs. The same with my sponsors. They also found out that they don't have the funds to continue sponsoring a successful rally team. So I had to get the best available from our neighbors next door. And who else but Shamir Yusuf?
How have you managed to keep your car clean? Other than
You see, I think when you know that you are the one responsible for your car, you learn that. And I've been a driver for so long, so I think it's just second nature.
What was the expectation?
I always expect to do better than I did previously. I want to improve myself. I have no challenge with anyone else, because today I don't compare myself with anyone else.
What was the opposition for?
I have no idea. I think my staff are looking at what they are going to edit and give us.
What next after Spark?
After Pearl, we'll be getting ready for our NRC calendar, which I think is in August in Fort Portal.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening and welcome aboard to the podium. Show back every single Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight, where we preview and review the never out of motorsport, local scene, African scene, as well as on the international scene on this 10th day of November 2025. We're hoping that everything has shifted your way from the last time we did run this show. As usual, tuga abakozi mfuna birungi twebaza katonda tumusaba tuseko nebinje byakwa bitebigwe then abakyafunye mu buzibuzibu hurdles or hardships. Better say we pray to God, and He does avail us remedies. We get past those problems, we live a better life. The Podium on Fafa TV as well as on 102.1 Fafama. Every single Monday we do preview and review all the latest in the world of sport. You can as well watch this program using our social media handles. Gamanga the Fafa media app. You also can downloading them app store or Play Store. Or no kubanga kolaba Fafa TV ngokosa the YouTube channel. You definitely be able to watch Fafa TV as well as listening to 102.1 Fafama wherever you are across the entire world. Ku DSTV, ku Star Times still, so kubanga olaba kone olaba Fafa TV, the home of Ugandan sport, is under the Fafa media services. Kanize Kesh or manager program Najo Brewer, and privileged to host the 2008 Clubman Rally Championship as well as the National Rally Champion 2008, Dr. ASHRAF AHMED. So the kubanga twega takuna kwa pleasure. Kubanga twega could digest a lot regarding his motorsporting career and how he does perceive his perspective in terms of motorsports in Uganda. He's the Vice President of Motorsport Africa Club, Mozak, ina President Mukulu Nkutu. Kale, kansabe Joe, anaye Dr. Wenga wabuzako, then we pick it up from there. Joe, so buzo kufana watuliza, you know kubanga, you should be happy being on the set with the 2000, because you've not won any championship before.
I've never won a championship.
So now you've won it. You have to.
By standing, being next to nice, good record-breaking record, by the way. Okweanti was the CRC and national champion in the same year. I think in his first year of asking, which has never been repeated. Never travel now. Babuza konyomba namzanyo mujeba. How has been your week? Mukurike mu weekend. Our event is tuwabade busika. Tuwabade motocross 8, round 8, which was the last of on the calendar. Of course, natubane events za TT and drifting as is our debusika. Motorsport nitubya komo Japan byabadde yo ne mufomu ya wane byabadde yo tujabibaletera during the course of the program. Member lamusiza nnyo maba kwekumiraano buli Monday nga ku Motorsport. So nnyo kuba ne doctor bale ku show era ne ntegezebwako mu memo gye nafunye nga sinatoka ndi tujja kutuusa nkoko lulimi.
Layate, Doctor is getting accustomed to Uganda.
But not today. Not today.
Dr. Pleasure and interesting to salute our viewers and listeners.
Good evening. Thank you for hosting me to this incredible show.
And it's always a pleasure joining all you wonderful people and sharing more about motorsports. Unfortunately, we only hear the bad things. We are here now to share the good things about motorsports. Thank you so much.
Okay, that is Dr. ASHRAF AHMED, who is our guest today. Of course, he's a panelist on to this show, Aaron Ali Live, as well as Mama, Okay, we kick it off with we normally talk about what is happening in Uganda. For starters, last week, Twafna Maudega head coach Paul Put extended his contract till 2028. I don't know how you received that news. It's been changed Ugandan football dynamics, and I think well done to FIFA.
100% on that. Kubanga, I think in the whenever the last 3 coaches, I have not had any negative rambles about Put ever since he showed up. It has been a good track. Interestingly, it's also the first time I've actually 100% followed Ugandan football and for the Cranes and his element. Era performance about Zidavika. So I'm very happy. He might be jumping the border, but when he put pen to paper, I was very happy that, and the boys also very happy. We have a target, we have a purpose. So the name team will improve.
Yeah, of course, he's there until 2028. That is Mr. Justice Mugisha, CEO of Mr. Edgar Watson Suvi, Gaban Veling, a coach, giving him that, of course, Somujozo will get a contract extension to 2028. So, congs to Uganda, congs to FUFA, well done, FUFA, Okubanti having put, because otherwise, the performance, we've qualified for AFCON 2025. We are hosting AFCON 2027. There are a lot of strides that have been made under his leadership as the national team coach. Okay, after that unveiling, he did some on the squad that is going to play in the friendly games in Morocco. Producer sort of squad here, just out of Samoninga, head of the friendly games in Morocco. Will take on Chad. That will be on the 14th of November 2025. Then play Morocco on the 18th of November 2025. Going to the international break, so we are Uganda as well, busy as well. That is the squad. Salima Jamal Magola, Dennis Onyango, Tommy Karad, Dennis Chigundu, Tony Sibik, Eloka Prodosi, yeah, and a couple of other players. And I saw new names in there because we are preparing for the AFCON. So I think in the recent past you've seen the Korean squad kind of kubanga echukamuko. The players who trade their football from Uganda, they have tried to come into the squad. So it's struggling for numbers ahead of those games. You have to showcase what you have to be part of the final squad again representing Uganda more AFCON. So that is the squad, and 28 players. Of course, good to see Shafik Nana Kwikiriza back. 7 Dese Mukwara, Regan Mpande, Rujas Mato, Alan Okero, who was very, I think you
got new sensation
of late, good performance from Okero during Chan. Okay, then finally, the Uganda Cubs take on France in the FIFA Under 17 World Cup. Uganda in Group K. We lost against Canada 2-1. Painful loss. You told me to watch that game.
Very painful. Very painful. Kubanga abana bazanya mupira. Na kwa nagola from the very beginning. I could not believe these were 17-year-olds or below 17-year-olds playing that good football. When they led up that point in time, unfortunately, broadcast again freezing. And so can you go? It is a draw.
Because we scored in the 25th minute, they equalized in the 88th minute, then we lost the game in added time. Plus.
It was heartbreaking for me and shocking because the last 5 minutes I was actually standing. Thing will freeze, come back and scores have changed. Not what is happening behind the scenes. But it was very painful, but that we lost that game. Fortunately, the return against Chile.
Yeah, we
salvaged the point. Also very good. There are a couple of small things that can be adjusted. I am praying for the best when we go against France tomorrow. And so I think from what I have read so far, the boys are motivated to at least get that win.
Yeah, they take on France tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. That game will be live on FUFA TV, like all the games have been anyway. Uganda Cubs games live on FUFA TV as well as on 100.1 FAFAM. Of course, if they do win, they have sealed a place into the round of 32. We need the result in that game to stand in a chance of progressing from the group stage. We're in Group K, France, Canada, Chile, and Uganda. Okay, away from that, we're back with motorsport. Joe, privileged to have the champion. When I was requesting him to be part of this show, he didn't hesitate. no second thoughts. So like, yeah, I'm available as long as they are. and it comes along with I think the one that Dr. ASHRAF does have. It's his own, I should say. We've not seen. I think it hasn't happened. I really doubt even it will never happen because of the way the setup of our events are. Because you can't be a CRC champion in the same year as an NRC champion. You either compete. Maybe you can be a two-wheel drive national champion and an NRC champion.
No, actually, NRC and two-wheel drive, you can. But fortunately, when Doctor started racing, the CRC and NRC were running concurrently. So once you showed up as a new driver, you will score in both championships, which was very interesting. So for him, as far as I'm concerned, he'll clarify. He just started driving and kept on driving, and discovered at the end of the day, end of the year, that he was the champion. And it's like,
both champions.
You almost asked how.
Both champions.
But it was a good race. It was a good show. And the little I've known about him, he has always been a very serious person, a very disciplined person, and a very organized person. I used to go to the camp and watch Mama from a distance, watch Doctor from a distance. Then I was still a fan. I not yet got into the cockpit. Being near competitors was a privilege. So I would stand at a distance.
Those days,
watch these guys. I'm like, hey man, okay. Then go into the stand, watch the guy come. Okay, he's moving. Then results, he's there, he's fifth, he's fourth, he's third, he's second. Okay, this guy is actually good. Then one day, when we chanced to get into the cockpit, we said, Doctor will be one of our benchmarks. See if we can gauge it. To say, when
did you guys start competing?
Me, I began in 2010, but as Team Explode, he won it in 2008. Me, I said, my first event was in 2010 for 2 years. Then I began doing NRC in 2012.
After you had graduated from the CRC? From the CRC.
We started CRC in 2012. They changed it in 2013.
So since 2008, okay, even the years before, you could win both championships.
Just that he was lucky enough to achieve both. And mainly because of his consistency and dedication to get, because he finished every event and in good position.
Do you have a feeling that he had an input in terms of changing that? So that he only remains only. No. All right, we'll first go into a short commercial break. When we get back, we talk to Dr. ASHRAF.
That thing was changed.
All right, we'll be back from that short commercial break. It's a Podium to work every single Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight, where we preview and review all the latest in of sports, motorsport, local scene, African scene, as well as on the international scene on this 10th day of November 2025. Privileged to host the 2008 CRC and NRC National Rally Champion, Dr. ASHRAF AHMED. Of course, Joe Brewer is today's panelist. Doctor, pleasure, and I just feel the Uganda is saying Nzaliwo. I'm the one who is, I'm trying to translate it. I'm rubbing shoulders with the 2008 national champion. Of course, I've also won a championship, 2023 National Autocross co-driver champion. Yet to get the award. But what we're hearing in the corridors is like the awards will take place on the 3rd of January. Good winning. Okay, Doctor. Pleasure and your first time being on set. You can take us through your motorsport journey, because it should be captivating and worth one listening to because of the accolade that comes along with it, being a champion and nurturing other people into the sport.
Thank you. What I can say is that when you are born in East Africa, I think you have the germ of motorsport. If it's not football, it's motorsport. You have it in you. And now it's just how you nurture it. So I was fortunate that my immediate family really supported me. So being reading to be a doctor was a full-time commitment, and getting into rally was not thought of for that particular career. You know, I think they had specialized rally driver, he has to be a mechanic, a guy with a workshop, you know, lawyers, doctors were not supposed to be. So I think we broke that in Uganda, and I managed to get someone's car that he had failed to resuscitate. So we did all the first aid, we resuscitated the car, and 2007 we brought it forward. Now we were newbies. I was looking for a navigator, and the first person who jumped into the navigator seat was Issa Nyanzi. He was a veteran. Who is a veteran now, and we found out that things were not very good. So I said, let me go with the newbie, and we patched up with Musa Nsubuga, and he became a son of the family, and he got his first victory in our camp. You know, and I just pray he remembers. And so 2007 was not a very pleasant year for us, because my father-in-law had cancer, and rally was not part of the agenda. And 2008, I remember he came one day in January and says, either sell the car or let's race it. And we said, okay, let's go for the CBS. And we went for the CBS sprint, and we were in the top 10. And then, of course, once you taste a victory, you don't go back.
You don't go back.
So we kept on working on the car, and next thing is we were the champions of 2008 and double champions, CRC, NRC, which to date no one has managed, and we are in the books of record. Okay, and we are very privileged and proud. People call it luck, people call it jinx, people call it whatever they want to call it, but we did it.
A win is a win.
You see, a win is a win. Okay. About the car, the choice of car was also very crucial. Now, most of the cars in rally around East Africa were rally prepared cars from Dom Buckley and this and that, and good cars. People had very good cars. And here we are with our homegrown.
What car was it?
It was a Subaru GC8, I think one of the earliest. Now, I mean, I think it was brought in 2 pieces from whoever brought it, and then joined in Katwe somewhere, and we were racing with it, and we won. Then we thought, no, this is not so safe. Let's become a little more competitive. And we brought in a car from Japan, a GC8, and we raced. Then after 2008, 2009, things were not very comfortable, because being newbies and coming in and scoring was at times not appreciated by the old boys who had dominated the field. And now we had started a new era in motorsports, whereby anyone could come and win. And then 2009 we had a champion. 2010 we had Mr. Nasser Mutebi, and I mean new drivers now started getting championships. Then that was the white car. We had the white one, which was the first. Then we got a blue one, which was a GC8. Then we went in and said, okay, let's get another car. And we got an 8 and converted it and raced with it. That also, we exhausted it, but there is not a single car that did not win a race or some title. All my cars competed, and came with podiums or near podiums.
Yeah, let's go back to 2007. You talked about the previous set. Okay, I don't call it a setup. You talked about you rightly call it a jinx. that motorsport was perceived to be people with workshops, mechanical engineers,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
if you're a doctor, we call them white collar jobs as it is, lawyers.
You're not a racer.
Because lawyers, doctors, they play golf. Those are the kinds of games for
Yes.
people with white collar jobs. But then, why did you get that? Call it an inspiration or the thought of coming into motorsport and breaking that jinx of you can also having this feeling that I can also compete at, or let me also join motorsport instead of any other sporting disciplines in the country.
See, I have always had that advantage. I was a table tennis champion when I was playing in the university days and in high school, okay, in a neighboring country. And rallying was like it's in your blood. And if you ask any young child anywhere in East Africa where rally has been, I don't think you will miss getting a person who will say, I love rallying. You understand? It's only that now what happens is that we people who are the guardians of the sport scare people by displaying, oh, rally is expensive. Like when you want to enter golf, and they say, don't enter golf, golf is very expensive. You see, so it's that fear that dictates whether a person joins or not. I always come forward and say, look, if you want to do any sport, you must take the step. You must jump in, okay, go in as a marshal, go in as a spectator. Start wherever you want, but get in. That's how you get the feel of the game.
Yeah.
So in your case, did you go straight away into competition or did you walk the journey from being a marshal or something?
Now, while growing up in that, you see, I mean, I used to see rallying in our backyard. So but I was fortunate. I jumped straight into the cockpit. You know,
without first being a marshal.
I was never a marshal. I even didn't know how the navigator is supposed to write the notes. Okay.
So you said you teamed up with. How did you team up with Issa Nyanzi, and how did you find that pairing?
Actually, I think Issa Nyanzi was how do I say, adopted because he was working on my car's electrical system. Okay.
And he had some bit of experience.
And then he had a great deal of knowledge. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. At that time, those Subarus, I mean, I would say he was one of the good Subaru whizzes.
At that time.
Yes. Now today, you know, we have cars that are so complicated with so many electronic gadgetry. But I believe he is still good at it. But I've never gone that deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, competing with how many events did you do with Issa Nyanzi?
Just one sprint CBS.
Only one.
Yes, only one.
Then after you.
After that, we adopted Musa Nsubuga as the son of the Ali medical family.
And how did you team up with Musa? Because most times I've seen when new drivers come to the picture, they are told, yes, you've come, but you go so and so. How did it work?
Now, I think Musa was also trying to get into the system, and I think he had a brush with a tree in botanical with the driver he was sitting with, and then he decided, I think I'm safer with doctor.
Yeah, that's how you did.
Yes, that's how we paired up, and then I mean things just gelled, and we had a wonderful 1 year. And then you see, like today, I always tell them, you see, today I can't keep up with young sons. Sons have demands that fathers cannot keep. And then you tell the sons, please go out and
enjoy and
look for your own greener pastures. And that's what we did.
Now, let's talk about that 2008 championship.
Yes.
Both championships. Of course, the event does score in different categories, the CRC, the NRC, and the two drivers. Where did it, I mean, where did you start to feel that you can grasp this championship?
I think I'll tell you one thing, that when I joined motorsports, with regards to driving skills, I mean, whoever I sat with, whether they were friends or relatives or what, they always said, no, you know, you're a natural, you know, and that gave me that boost. And I found that even with small events, I mean, I was beating some of the so-called
big guns.
Big guns, okay? And you see, and that's how we found our niche.
So the 2008 championship, did it come on, would one say, was it on a silver platter?
You see, if without hard work, how come no one else gets it? I mean, I always say it, you know, like a lot of critics come up with a lot of propaganda and all that. And, you know, they say, okay, the grapes are sour. But I'll tell you, 2008 was not an easy run. We had the Sebuguzis, we had the Mayanjas, we had the Rwakatakas, we had the Tezikubas. I mean, you name it, we had them. Yet, we excelled.
Because the previous year, the 2007 championship had been won by Ponciano Rwakataka. The national championship. Yes. So that means maybe he was much eager to defend the championship. Yes. Because in 2005 it was Ponciano, then 2006 Sebuguzi, 2007 Ponciano, then 2008 Doctor.
Then Ponciano took a break. I think that's when Rose Rwakataka started.
Yes.
Competition, but Omar was also there.
Yes.
And a couple of other people. But what I remember is that right now CRC is a qualifying kind of like class.
Yes.
You first score CRC for a whole season, and they say you have to drive for a whole season. Then you have to achieve a certain number of points. I think it was 73 points.
Yes, correct.
For you to go to
the next.
You know, to
be promoted.
all beginners, you start in CRC. You have to score 73 points to be able to go to the next event. I think there were 8 events for that year. But all NRC events were also CRC events. So there was not coinciding. And interestingly, if you scored points in CRC, because it's a national event, you also score points for NRC.
Yes.
So when Doctor will finish in good positions, he'll top the CRC table, but also have very good points at the NRC. And as you know how rally goes, some win, some drop out, especially those who are having so much competition, they'll clash and stuff like that. So Doctor was always consistent. At the end of the day, he found himself right there. So I wanted to ask you, Doctor, in that year, who were the main contenders that you faced? First of all, in the CRC, and then in the NRC.
Okay, in the CRC, I remember we had Rose Rwakataka, and in the other one, we also had another competitor. Though she was running CRC, but it was a little, you know, hogwashed. So I mean, I wouldn't say it was entirely her racing the CRC, and that was Leila Mayanja, because she was being navigated by the husband. And most of the times when you, in some rallies, you know, if the driver is sick, the navigator jumps in the seat. You understand? So I mean, we don't want to go into that nitty-gritty, but everyone knows what happened. But what I say is this, that Mr. Sebuguzi was there with his full vigor, and we beat him a number of times. I remember in one race, which was organized by Southern Motor Club, we came to the FF. Okay, and the marshals are asking us, where is Sebuguzi? And I remember there's a video where Musa is blasting them, that you take my time card, don't ask me about Sebuguzi. You know? So, I mean, you see, there was a kind of mindset that if the winners are going to be there, it's going to be Sebuguzi, Rwakataka, Faisal Tezikuba, and the likes, okay? And when we came in, totally, you know, newbies, I mean, it did open up the sport to a lot of people, and now people knew, if this doctor can do it, okay, so can we, you know, and a lot of people came in and they tried their luck, and some succeeded and some didn't.
Yeah, and still talking about the championship, there's a rule we have, the national competition rules, which I personally find, for lack of a better word, weird, because the driver does score.
Yes.
The co-driver does score in the same category as the driver. So if I'm co-driving Kansime in the NRC, I score in the NRC category. If I'm co-driving Mansour Bega, I score in the two-wheel drive.
Yes.
Now, the national competition rules for this year say that if I'm to start competing next year, 2026, I start in CRC. Yet, when we start the event, like this rally we had, I can start driving, and Mansour does co-drive.
Yes.
And we score points. What differs is at the entry point, prize giving, they give the trophy for the driver to the person who did that entry as a driver.
Yes.
And they give the trophy to the co-driver, the person who did that entry as a co-driver. And the points, the same thing.
Yes.
But now they're telling you, if you to start driving as a if you've been a co-driver, competing at co-driving NRCs, you have to go back at CRC.
Now, I think what has prompted all this change is very simple. I think with the level of motorsports speeding up, with the R5 cars coming, and some nasty accidents that have occurred around the world, I think it was fair for the federation to come up and say, look, we need to vet the guy coming in newly in the car. You see, so I think it was more with respect to safety that they brought that about, and not with any prejudice. So you see, like today, I mean, I may be sitting with a navigator. I mean, I've sat with navigators who didn't know how to drive a manual car. And I'm like, excuse me, so if we had an emergency, who would drive? I said, doctor, you would manage, you would push. You see, so I think that this kind of input, we should not look at it negatively. I mean, we should look at it positively and see, yes, that what is the importance of such
such a regulation.
Such a regulation, you see. So, I mean, it's unfair for a person like, let's say, a navigator who has sat for 15 years in an NRC car and navigated religiously and really got a lot of accolades. And then he's told, now you want to join and become a driver, go back to school, P1.
But you see, my take is, driving and co-driving are two different fields. And they're two different sets of skills that any competitors can have. Key example, you get any guy who has been a driver, put him as a passenger in any car and drive him very fast. In most cases, he'll ask you to slow down because they're uncomfortable being driven very fast. They are more they are more used to be the ones in control.
Yes, true.
So they're not looking at you like, I'm not so sure what it was going to do. So that changes over to the other, to the co-driver as well. I would have no issue with a co-driver who has been there for years getting to sit behind the steering to start competing, has to be tested at that level. I think what they've
been there for years, that's relative. How many years?
Okay, let's take example. Doctor said you've been navigating for 15 years, but you have never been driver number one. So the first time you show up as driver number one, that changes your whole dimension and setting, because reading 3 left, keeping, and actually doing it yourself are two different things. All right. So once you start driving, then you are now being tested at a different level. So it is good that you actually go back to a certain category where you can handle. What I would actually rather take is, if a person shows up and in his first outing is actually very good, then maybe we should make some waivers. I mean, look at Segawe as a bad example. Segawe was told to be a competitor, you must start
autocross.
You must be a navigator.
Okay.
So he spent a whole year as a navigator. But it worked in his favor. He managed to learn all the rules and regulations about rallying as a navigator, which was wrong advice. So after that, he's like, okay, now I think I want to become a driver.
Joe, what I believe is this, that like Mr. Segabwa is actually now advantaged. Because learning navigation is not easy. Today, I respect all the navigators around, because it's not an easy task to sit with the I word driving and flat out. You don't know whether he's going to hit that hut or he's going to hit that tree. You understand? And have that faith
in him
or her. And so I believe that if today you learn navigation, it gives you that edge and respect for your navigator. Because if you see today, I mean, we are now pulling at each other. Now, gone are the politics. Now we are pulling driver, navigator, are pulling at each other. Who wants recognition? So I think, if today, you reversed roles, it would help us to have a better relationship in the cockpit and out of the cockpit.
Okay, so winning, where was the party for World Championships?
Well, we had a party and we hosted practically every soul in rally. And, and we had it at my clinic in Old Kampala, and a lot of people came. Those who wanted to celebrate with us came and celebrated with us. Those who are mourning celebrated.
Did you? Normally, I don't know where did you put those trophies, because such trophies, in my view, are meant to be in safety deposit box. But
you'll be surprised, I mean, we used to really value those trophies, and if you come to my clinic, you'll see them sitting on the cabinet in my clinic. And even till today, they are my prized possession. I mean, I have to look at them and say, are they there? Yes. Okay. But you see, as a driver also, and as you are aging, I think you must know that there is a transition that you must be ready to do. You know, unfortunately, some of us want to hold on to those positions, be it driver, be it navigator, be it chairman, be it vice chairman, be it secretary. You know, I mean, we want to hold it as though it was, we inherited it. You know, and I believe one thing, that, you know, everything is dynamic. There's change. Okay, I mean, the way I handle a medical emergency is very different from what I see my sons doing, you know, and I think that should be an eye-opener, that we must be ready for change and adapt and adopt.
Yeah. So, winning the 2008 championship, you talked about getting another GC8, then finally, then we had the, because from the
Yeah, there are 2 GC8s.
2 GC8s, an N8,
N8,
and then a 14.
and a 14.
14.
Yes.
So from the N8,
Yes.
you upgrade to the N14.
14, yes.
N14.
Yes.
And that still, you never had thoughts of driving a Mitsubishi?
As I told you, see, I look, I mean, I always am very realistic about my budgets and the game that I play. And I play that game with a lot of thought behind it. I want to race and come back with my car as clean as possible. I remember there was a very senior driver, navigator in Kenya, and whenever the car would come back, he would actually, when he put his sons in the game, he would come out and see how many scratches the car would have. And as soon as he would see a scratch, he says, here, you didn't write your notes properly. How did you go off the route? And I think that is what I adopted. And to some of my colleagues, they felt that as, oh, doctor, it's too slow. But I look at it this way, that when you go in with when you go to a rally with a car and come back with it clean,
Intact, yes.
you have that much less expense. You've enjoyed your game and you have that much less expense. I mean, I know people who leave the headlights. I mean, every rally, it's a right headlight, one rally, the left headlight, the next rally, the bumper. Okay. I'm good at leaving my tires behind. I mean, I did a Pearl when I came back without 2 tires, 2 front tires. I actually barely brought the car right up to the FF. And then one scrutineer comes and says, next rally, we are not going to allow you, we are going to disqualify you for bringing the car on 2 wheels. Man, it's a feat. Appreciate it. How many people can do even with 3, they don't come back. Okay. So, again, you see, I have been very fortunate that my family and my support team has been impeccable.
Yeah. So you have to strike a balance between your levels of competition vis-a-vis of your budget.
Yes.
Otherwise, you won't be able to compete in the next level.
I mean, look around. Just look around. Go to anyone's, I would say, stable, okay, in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and see how many cars are parked because they can't afford to rally. Okay, so why not go into a car that, you see, I could go to Kiseka and get a turbo for my car. I could get a headlight for my car. I could call my good friend Geoffrey and say, Geoffrey, you have parts for the 14, can you bring? And I would race. Now, Mitsubishi is a car that's quite costly because remember, it's no longer in production.
Yeah.
Okay, and the guys
The last ever was 2008.
Yes,
Evo
2010.
10.
Okay, so now you tell me, now all the cars that are there, okay, are archives. Okay, now if today you damage something, where do you go get it? So I had to get something that could be sustainable. And that's what I tell all the youngsters coming in. Get something sustainable. Don't look at because Sebastian Loeb can afford it, so can Joe Burwa. No, we have different economic levels, different economic needs.
Yeah.
Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to judge your economic strength, but your requirements are different. My priorities compared to maybe Sebastian Loeb's are different.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I would like to take home. That let's enjoy the game nicely and most economically, and yet get the results.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to rest within your budget.
Yes. Look at what the situation is in Kenya. Can you count how many cars there are in a rally these days? If you are lucky, you get 8.
Yeah. For an NRC.
in an NRC.
And of late, they have not been having events.
Yes, and for us guys, we are very proud. We have even at times on the list is 50, but of course 28 go through. But that's a remarkable number.
Yeah. All right, we go in for a short commercial break. When we get back, Dr. does take us through how he does see the levels of competition in Uganda. Now, given the fact that he is, I don't know, he's into sabbatical, he's
He's
retired.
an administrator. He's also grooming a new class of drivers.
Yeah, and then, of course, how he does this, the perspective of motorsport in Uganda. Let's get back after this short commercial break. Back from that short commercial break, it's a Podium. Show does take place every single Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight, where we preview and review the latest in the world of sport. You can as well watch this program on FUFA TV as well as on 102.1 FM. Listening as of course, you use online. You can use the FUFA Media app, or as well as using the YouTube channel FUFA TV. You can be able to watch the Podium as well as other subsequent programs that do take place on FUFA TV, which is the home of Ugandan sport. I'm Kesh, joined by Job Bro, and today's guest is Dr. ASHRAF AHMED, the 2008 CRC Clubman Rally champion and the National Rally champion, a double champion, 2008. Okay, Brad, that breakthrough did take us through his triumph, that journey, that walk from 2007 to 2008, being champion. Now, Doctor, let's talk about other years that did proceed. After you winning the championship, did you ever have feelings in 2009 and years that came of defending or wanting to come back and probably win another championship?
The desire to attain another championship never ended, and we kept on. We started losing navigators because we were not now getting navigators who could keep up, and we were now going through training, and then eventually we said, okay, let's get a lady navigator and train her. So we had a number of lady navigators whom we trained, and we achieved a lot of success. We didn't only win the NRC CRC 2008, but we had a number of podiums. We even had a pearl podium, okay, which was, at times is shrouded. But we are there, we have the proof, we are there in print, we are there in the archives. So we had a number of podiums throughout, okay, right up to pre-COVID. Then COVID, I think, put a damper in a lot of teams and in rallying in general. Also, again, I think Federation was also going through a bit of turmoil during that time, and I didn't want to get into that funny nitty-gritty politics of it, because at the end of the day, with any of that dirt, you always come out with your hands dirty. So I said, let's watch from a distance and see what happens.
So your last event was in 2018 or 2019?
Actually, it was 2020.
Before COVID?
Before COVID.
Because before COVID, we had two events. We had one in Masaka, one in
Mbarara,
which was then...
and the one in Jinja.
And the one in Jinja.
Because, see, I mean, I think the last navigators that we actually had a good finish with most of the navigators. Okay. I mean, I'm not complaining, because I look at this, that yes, the car came home safely, we had a good result, and that's it. Now, of course, I mean, we couldn't keep up with the new era of cars that were being brought in, and
the protos.
And then also, okay, also remember one thing, that we have a Sandesatu culture, which also, which we have to understand, and I think it has become part and parcel of our motorsports, rules and regulations.
So you made a decision to partly stop competing?
So what happened is that after COVID also, the economics generally, globally, were affected, and getting parts, getting things from A to B was becoming a bit of a challenge.
Yes.
And we lost our sponsorship with one of the sponsors, and then we said, okay, let's see what we can do, and we decided that let's do selected events, and we were bringing Navigator now from Kenya, and it was working out to be costly, and so then slowly we said, let me bring in my sons. So what I did is that then I stepped outside and brought in my sons, and because the two brothers were racing, we didn't have the additional cost of paying the Navigator. Because both the brothers were now
one drives and
one
one
was
all come out of the same
and
compound.
also you see they could now blend their practice sessions, and being young they had more vigor and more enthusiasm to get into it. And so then I said, okay, now let me go to where I belong, administration, because that is where we are faulty.
Okay, so the kids come into sports, really supporting them. Okay, the producer has given us the list of Uganda Rally champions since 2000. 2000 Charlie Lubega, 2001 Charlie Lubega, 2002 Charlie Lubega, 2003 Moses Lumala, 2004 Charlie Lubega. That means Charlie Lubega won 3 consecutive championships.
Yes.
Then 2005 Ponsiano Rakataka, 2006 Ronald Sebuguzi, 2007 Ponsiano Rakataka, then 2008 Dr. ASHRAF AHMED, 2009 Ronald Sebuguzi, 2010 Nasa Mutebi, 2011 Susan Muonge, 2012 Jas Mangat, 2013 Jas Mangat, 2014 Ronald Sebuguzi, 2015 Nathablik Jr., 2016 Jas Mangat, 2017 Christakis Fitidis, 2018 Susan Muonge, 2019 Yasin Nasa, 2020, 2021, you talked about that COVID year.
Yes.
Duncan Mobiru, 2022 Byron Rugumoka, 2023 Nasa Mutebi, 2024 2023 Yasin Nasa, sorry, 2024 Just Mangat.
Yes.
But Doctor, I don't know, among all those championships,
Yes.
where do you think that you, apart from 2008,
Yes.
is there any other year you came close to winning the championship again? And you maybe squandered, you dropped
It would be hard for me to tell you. See, with 2009, when we were fighting, a lot of politics had hit motorsports, and some of the key players in the federation were involved, and in a lot of rallies we were actually put down from position 1 to position 7. You see, so I mean, a lot of funny things were happening between 2009, 2010, 2011. Then when Just came in 2012 with a powerful car, I mean, there was no excuse. You see? So if you go in 9, 10, 11, I mean, you'll see a lot of skeletons in the closet, which we don't want to expose on such a beautiful show. So let's leave it at that. Okay, and I'll just say one thing, that maturity in motorsports is a necessity, and we need to, as you and me, Joe, we need to bring it back into the sport.
Okay.
Maturity, sanity,
and everything.
And everything.
Okay, then let's talk about the Alis competing.
Yes.
I've seen them, looked at their stage times. I don't know what to tell on that, because it's in
from
the times they were posting.
From the first time I saw those kids drive, first when they showed up, there's this thing you see about an X factor. I saw the same thing in Bobo. I saw the same thing in Ali, and I think there's another kid. I saw the same thing in him. It's the way they move, the confidence in their strides. You know, these people have intention, and they're going to do something. Just like the day this rider, his surname is Young, Ronnie Young. The day Ronnie Young comes to drive, it's like, if you remember the time, what's his name? Unison Bakunda almost won the championship. There's that confident gait they have when they are structured to move, that these boys have. And I think what we have not yet really enjoyed is the battle between the Ali brothers, Bobo, and there's another guy that we really like to see, Bebetos, that we really like to see. And because that's like a new group that we like to see come into competition. They have just been a bit erratic, but they have purpose and actually exciting to watch. I have seen them, I think, Busika a couple of times, and they are really lethal. I like what they bring.
Look at, looking at this, your children perform.
Yes,
I mean, you must be proud for them.
I am an extremely proud father, but a very disappointed parent and competitor. Because I'll tell you, my son won the this young the rally star,
Yeah, the rally
and
In South Africa.
When he
South
won the-
Africa. And imagine I didn't get any support
From the federation.
from my mother body. Okay, and I think that's the biggest drawback we have in sports, especially motorsports in Uganda. You see, if you look at Kenya, they had the rally star. They came in with cars R3s, which were given to drivers. Okay, and these guys, and these guys showed what they are made of. Now, see, today here in our beautiful country, we are lacking that kind of responsibility. Okay, you know. So today, when Ali was racing in South Africa, you know what they asked me? Where is the ASN? And I said, Wanji. You know, because he was the only competitor who had not reached South Africa with his ASN.
Back in
I mean, because you see that's where I should say that is why the Bobos and the Alis cannot manage. Bebeto is lucky that Bebeto comes from a family of Kuku and Papu and Kaka who have been in rallying for generations and who know ABC of the rally, and I'm really happy that Bebeto is getting the support that he deserves. Some of us who are professionals and don't have that extravagant budget, we cannot now balance rally and education without a helping hand. Okay, you'll see a rally driver is getting 3 sponsors, and someone who deserves it gets none by virtue of whatever connection you may talk of. Okay, so I think we really need, as members of clubs, as members of the federation, we all need to work together and try and come up with something that will be a support for these upcoming drivers. And I'm made to understand that it's not only in motorsports. I'm told even in other games, the same kind of inertia exists.
So you think that...
I wanted to ask Doctor about that Youngsters Championship.
Yes.
So it was Rally Star.
Rally Star.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, I first heard of it when it was a Pirelli
Yes.
championship.
Yes, correct.
And then there was a time when I think Shafiq Samuju was supposed to qualify for it. And then somewhere along the way, something went berserk. Then at some point, it was supposed to be for Unisan
Bakunda, yes, true.
Again,
Yes.
nothing happened.
Yes.
Now, I wake up one day, I think it's Albert who told me that, hey, by the way, this Ali's son won the what? The thing in South Africa. I'm like, which one? So I didn't even know that was taking place or that you had even gone. So is it possible that when your son went for that championship,
Yes.
the federation was not aware about it, or they just didn't get involved as they should have?
I love that statement because you remember the federation was the one that had organized the representation in Uganda under our able president Dipuru Parelia. Okay, and the able president made sure that maybe my son should not even reach South Africa. Okay, but I'm not going to go back there, and I'll just say one thing, that exposure that my son got in South Africa has laid a foundation for him being a stronger driver. Okay, but imagine today, up to date, he is not even mentioned on the official website of the Federation of Motorsports.
Mr. Media Commissioner.
When was the last time those boys when did they last compete?
You see, Ali and all, right now, you see, the last they did was a sprint in Busika. Okay, and that's about it with Bobo and all. And look, Bobo and all, those sons of mine are also classmates in the same school with my children. These children have practically grown up together. Ali, Wazir, Blick's sons, these guys are fantastic together. These guys have more, they cooperate better. These guys are, we should, as parents, sometimes need to learn from our children what friendship is, what sportsmanship is. I mean, I love these children. Okay, because they teach us what we lack as parents, as adults.
Okay, so they've kind of been away from the sport. Is it academics?
Yes, of course, academics.
The last time I heard that, there's a time, I think we were doing our medical.
Yes.
Should be this year. Then I asked about, do you expect them to get back? And you said, I think that time they were in Kenya, something like that.
You see, the main problem is now, being in the medical profession also, it's like a full-time commitment. They don't even go out for dinners with us. I mean, these days we have a nice candlelit dinner, that's the couple. You know, because the boys are reading, you see, so.
We are there. Me, Aaron, and
Send us
Bukenya are there.
invitation.
As soon as an invitation will come and fill up.
Okay, so let's talk about, but what do you envisage for those children in terms
Now,
of
I
motorsport?
know one thing, that my boys, the bug is in their system. It'll never leave. Now, even the last born, who is their manager these days, I mean, if you ask him about rally, you ask him about car, you ask him about spanners, you ask him about tools, he knows. He's learned in those things. Okay, sometimes he'll even tell, you know, you guys didn't do this right. Did you talk that properly? And so you can see that the level of competition, the level of preparedness is at a different level.
Yeah. So you've nurtured and it's
I mean, if you see some of the pictures I've shared with you, I mean, these guys were cleaning my cars in those early days when I started rally, 2007, 2008. And so they've practically grown up with that kind of you know, setting.
So rally is embedded in them.
It's embedded. Now, you see, the thing is today, if they had support, like if the federation said, or they said, okay, fine, these are our boys, automatically even the university will look at them with a favorable eye. And be a little, you know, understanding. If today Ali was to race in maybe in Bale or somewhere and say, okay, I can't come for my lectures because I'm representing, and the university would say, okay, yes, our sportsmen. But you know, we don't have, yes, we don't even whatever. But you see, what I'm saying is this, that we as a sporting body, I think we need to get a little more involved with our youth, and that's what I would like to talk about when I reach there, because that's where we are lacking.
Okay, now I think that's last segment of
one for me, Doctor. Now that the kids are going into a demanding profession,
yes,
and I think they are they still have the next 2 years
yes,
is going to be very, very bad for them. How are you going to balance from that demanding profession and then push them back into rallying?
You see, Joe, these children don't need to be pushed. Remember one thing, this generation that are coming up now is a very independent generation that knows what he or she wants. As long as you keep them away from, okay, they are very, very intelligent. Okay, and you know, I always tell them, you have to budget. You budget your time with regards to studies, you budget your time with regards to sports. Because a healthy body will nurture a healthy mind. So, you know, you can't just have them sitting and reading, because then they're not going to be a healthy body.
Work without play.
Yes.
Will make them dull boys. Okay, let's switch to the administrative part of sport. Being a president of Mozak, congratulations for upon that. That's a milestone. It's an achievement. For being, of course, the vice president of Mozak Motorsport,
and the acting president, reluctantly.
So, bring us up to speed. How is the club evolving? Ever since you attained leadership?
I'll tell you one thing, that coming from Mozak, Mozak is one of the oldest club. Unfortunately, it has suffered its setbacks, whether you call it administrative, you call it management, you call it leadership. I mean, if I were to sit with you, I think this show wouldn't be enough. So let's leave it at that and say that we want to bring in, my president and I, and the team that we have collected, we would like to revamp Mozak. Because remember, Pearl of Africa belonged to us. It was a Mozak event. And it has been wrestled out of our hands. Okay, but it was because we were not strong enough to keep it in our hands. Now we are trying again to bring it to that stature whereby we can offer our members and the public and the country something that's worthwhile.
But I think it's inherent of our clubs. I'll give an example. A vivid one is last season you had 2 clubs organizing one NRC.
Yes.
UMOSPOC and Mozak organized the last NRC.
Yes.
Then this season, 6 events were allocated to 6 clubs, and that last event was not allocated when they were allocating the 6 events to the 6 clubs. So there was, call it a jostle or a tussle between Mozak and UMOSPOC. Yes. Finally, UMOSPOC took the day, and it's organized in the last NRC. Doctor, you guys are not in the calendar this year. You've organized an auto cross soccer final in Bali.
Now, unfortunately, as I say, that leadership precedence that was set is now rubbing on to all of us. I remember I was in that meeting and I fought tooth and nail that please give Mozak the NRC. And they said, no, you guys have a very bad track record. So I said, well, I wasn't there, and neither was my president, and neither was the team. And we
so
were
you're asking for a second chance.
because, not a second chance, a first chance. Because look, I mean, you can't be judged by the woes of the past.
Yeah.
You understand? I think that everyone should be given a fair chance to either show themselves or to fail. Okay. Now you see this thing of putting a label and saying, it's. I don't think it's fair. Number one. Okay. I think everyone, if you bring in a new team, you bring in a new team to fight. Okay. Then I think that team deserves a clean slate.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's.
So you think that this year ought to have been on the NRC?
I mean,
the calendar for the NRC event?
Unfortunately, I think my president and I were not as committed to push hard, and I think my president had some other issues, and the last minute he threw all the responsibility on my shoulders. Okay, and you carry on now. Okay, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, but Joe, let me bring you in about the nature of the design of our clubs in Uganda. We have 16 clubs. You have 7 NRCs. You have 9 clubs. Okay. But previously, which could host an NRC event. Of recent, when you had the changes in our constitution, all clubs were scrapping for positions. Even Uma was given a says what. What do you say? I'm going for a short commercial break. We first go in for a short commercial break. Get back with the last segment of today's program. Let's get back after this break. All right, we'll be back from that short commercial break into our last segment of today's show, which runs every single Monday from 10 p.m. to midnight, where we preview and review all the latest in the world of motorsport. I'm joined by Joe Brewer, who is today's panelist, as well as our guest, the 2008 double champion, Dr. ASHRAF AHMED, a parent, a champion, an administrator. He's a man of many hats.
And a doctor.
And a doctor. Okay, prior to that break, we talked about Mozak not organizing an event, an NRC event. In fact, last year they did call.
They did a joint.
Yeah, it was. They did. It was a joint running of the
joint rally with UMOSPOC.
This year they have organized an autocross, which happened to be in Bali, and you were part of it.
No. They haven't started.
Ours is that's what I want to talk to the public about, and it's going to be in the first week of December.
First week of December.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the how do you see motorsport? The producer is telling about how you see motorsport in the perspective of motorsport in your eyes. I mean, where do you think motorsport should be, and what do you think should be done so that it can reach the levels where you want it to? Because we recently had a new constitution passed to align with the National Sports Act.
Yes.
We are yet to see any strides from the federation trying to. Maybe they're doing it backdoor, underground. I shouldn't say clandestine, but maybe they're making efforts to make the constitution align with the National Sports Act. But where do you see the sport, and where do you want it to be?
What I believe is this: with the new constitution, I think we are going regional, so that we are going to be now taking motorsports to the grassroots and all over Uganda. which is a very novel idea. That also will make it a bit difficult for so many clubs, because eventually clubs will have to merge. As Mr. Joe Bura said, that we are around 16 clubs, and the regions that we have are less. So it will definitely force us, some clubs, to form. Now I know as Mozak, we have been given the Bale region, where we intend to make a mark, inshallah, if given the opportunity. But what I would like to do first is, I would like to highlight where we have had our drawbacks and what we are thinking as our current team to set things right. The first thing is this, that we had an autocross in Gomba last year with the other team, and even the prize giving day was not done. For whatever reason, I don't know and I don't want to know. What we have done as the present executive is, we have organized a prize giving to appreciate those who participated in the Mozak's autocross of last year. And we have tentatively looked at setting up that was in Gomba.
Yeah, Gomba.
Okay, so we have tentatively looked at setting it up around maybe Friday after the launch of this rally tomorrow. Then maybe Friday, but we'll post you and we'll let you know when the exact date is. But we're looking more at Friday, so that because we are ready for the guys who are going for Recce for the other rally. Okay, so that is number one. The other thing is this, that we've organized an autocross which is in Chitigoma, in Jinja, and we have a very nice sponsor, and this is our Across the Nile Resort team that has actually come forward and given us the location for the autocross, and along with the IUEA that have really been supportive. And in that respect, I would like personally to thank one of the members, long-standing members of Mozak, Mr. Hassan Alwi, who has always availed himself whenever we've needed him as Mozak. And a big thank you to him among other Mozak members. Okay. The other thing is what I would like to talk about is this, that we are putting in an application for an NRC 2026, okay, but we are looking at keeping it in Bale, and we are actually looking at tempting entries from other countries, Kenya and Tanzania, by celebrating, by giving it a name and celebrating a function and hosting it. So we are still in the early stages, but we're looking at Elgin area. So that would be really good, because that would be where we need to expose ourselves as a team that works. Okay. Apart from that, we are also looking at having non-championship events as Mozak.
As a club.
Okay. So we are looking at hill climbs. We are looking at a lot of other activities which I think will interest the public, and we are actually urging them to come forward. We are looking at the hill climbing. We are looking mainly at Kapchorwa, because that area has the hills and it has the challenge that any driver would like to test. Okay. The other thing that I'd like is this, that you see, as in recent years, all the corporate bodies have run away from motorsports. Okay, we used to have Coca-Cola giving us such a good cover among others. I think we really need to reignite the flame and bring back this corporate, because that's very important for the survival of the sport. And my plea is to all those people watching, if you think you can sponsor us and have the confidence, please come and help us make sport alive again, motorsports. Okay. The other thing that we are bringing to the table this time as Mozak, whereas me sitting in as an acting president, is that we are now trying to involve schools and parents, because we thought of it and said that today, look, I mean, I can't go to hospital to look for Mozak members. I have to go somewhere where I can get them young. So we are looking at schools, be it government schools, be it international schools. we had that kind of exposure in Aga Khan where the motorbike guys were really being shown and represented. Now, other schools don't get that exposure. So we've actually set the ball rolling, and I have talked to a gentleman with Dolphin International, and that's where we are going to go and teach these children things on safety, road safety, maybe even first aid, and then urge them and their parents to join Mozak. So that is our secret out, that we are trying now to bring in these youth into it. Because look at other countries. You see young guys are in rally. Today you see, for us guys, we look at 18. Are you 18? Are you over 18? Then only you can join motorsports. But I think grassroots entry should be encouraged. We should encourage our youngsters, okay, whether it is go-kart, whether it is buggies, whether it is with a rally car, with a senior navigator. I think that's one thing that we really need. So we need involvement in universities, in technical institutes, in schools, and that's where I urge all of you to please come in drones and let's try and make this thing work. Okay. Yeah. Now, one more thing, please, before I can't thank the government enough for coming in and giving us such a lovely package. And we are really going to try and make this package work for the betterment of the people and the sport in the country. Last but not least, please, I take this opportunity to say thank you to all Mozak members and their families and all the people who have taken the time to stay awake till nearly midnight to watch me speak.
No, the doctor has given us his what the club intends to do, and if really put into play, it will propel the sport from propel the club, but have a trickle down effect onto the sport.
This year, I have been an official at the CSC Enduro in Mbale. Also an official in Motocross 6 in Lira. Omito. And on all occasions, I've interfaced with the district administration, including hotels and other business structures, just talking about motorsport. What I find very surprising is the interest that these guys have in the sport. And they say, but you don't come to us. A gentleman in Mbale said, my hotel is available. I'll always support motorsport. Another guy in Lira said the same thing. If you need to set up a motorsport club in Lira, my place is available. I'll give you tea, accommodation, and everything. Just come to us. I will even organize for the business community. Now, what Doctor is talking about is what Mozak wants to do, which sounds interesting and very colorful. The partnerships, the engaging, he wants to go to Mbale, he wants to keep it in. But now you need to go to these places, engage those elements, and make them part of your club. But it also means you're basically stretching out, and there's a plan for it.
Yes.
It's surprising, okay, not surprising, but it's relatively disappointing that this comes from a club. Only a club, something of that magnitude. I would have loved to hear every club sound like that. That this
all
is
the 16 of them.
all the 16 clubs. We have a plan. We're going somewhere. But add that to federation. What is your plan for the sport to grow? Because that's where we are.
As the motherboard.
As a mother body, what is your plan to have the sport to grow? And then you see what, and it's very easy. What is Mozak saying? What is Enduro saying? What is I talk about organizing clubs. What are your plans? But if you can't ask them for their plans, you can't have plans either. Or if you don't have plans as a mother body, then you cannot begin tasking the clubs themselves to have plans. And that's where our challenge is. We do not seem to be growing or expanding or going in a direction. Last week I saw a notice from the Secretary General cancelling a tea drifting something event, a non-sanctioned event in Fort Portal. What I picked from there was that there's a club called Fort Portal, Western Motorsport Club. Maybe that's what I picked. I would be curious to investigate who Western Motor Club is, what their program is, what their plan is, and how I bring them on board and make motorsport to grow. Because
Than gagging them
than
from organizing.
gagging them from organizing. Because from what I gather, it's about, we have this element of picking motorsport in terms of rally context and NRC, and think that is how motorsport should be. So when someone's talking about motorsport, you pick what you look at as an NRC event and bag it there. If a guy is talking about TT, karting, okay, it's not a rally, it's something very basic. Doctor is talking about going to schools. Question will be, what are they going to talk to schools about? What are you going to get drivers from there? But the other time we talked about it, when you go to these regions, you don't have to be a competitor to be part of motorsport. You are going to teach marshals, you're going to teach officials, you're going to teach interest people. So when Mbale, Mozak's organizing in Mbale, you don't have to carry 50 guys from Kampala to go and officiate in Mbale. You're going to find 50 people in Mbale at no cost to you. They're just eager to be part of an event.
You don't
Right?
spend accommodation.
You don't spend accommodation, no transport, no allowance. So the cost of organizing the rally becomes much, much cheaper.
Because in Chan we had volunteers. I had a friend of mine. I did volunteer in Chan.
Okay.
And I had one of the volunteers in the names of Lucky told me that he was part of the World Cup. That was in Qatar. And FIFA does want people who are within almost the region because it's cheaper for one to go. And what they were looking for that time, if I volunteer, to get just first of all the accreditation, it's part of the history. Number two, then the certificate.
The souvenirs
That come along. It's something that you can really keep for your generation, for the next generation. For someone to volunteer in a motorsport activity, even giving him that bib alone, and it's just the stage is passing around where the person stays, that's a plus.
PAL 2017, I went through a stage in Kayunga and it had not been manned because of martial administration issues. But the FI observer, it was stage 2. The observer was already at the start, and Sevuguzi was car number 1, was already at the start. Now me, I am 8 minutes ahead, and I'm timing that this guy should be taken off any time. And I'm finding an area with so many people, villagers, but no marshals on the ground. What did I do? I had a sack full of bibs.
Yes.
Full of bibs and tags. This is now day 2. So the tags are now useless and the bibs are there. So I basically deputized people on the villages to be marshals. That is all. When the safety guy came through right after me, said, yeah, he phoned me at the FF, said, good. But I didn't tell him this guy, I just did. But they were so happy to have been part of the rally. And they keep calling and say, hey, when I come back for the next event. And this is what we need to take to people. We need to get the communities where we take rallies involved. They can make it easier for us to be able to engage in these rallies. And I think that's the spirit we need to go with. But I think we are still not yet structured enough.
Okay, time for viewer and listener feedback. I have one here called Moses. He says, thanks for bringing Doctor. 2 things. One, 2018 marked 10 years since you won the championship.
Yes.
Did you do another party?
If he's sponsoring me.
No, 2018 marks 10 years. You won it in 2008.
So let's do a belated one. Let him sponsor it. I will go to the venue.
Then he says, in your plans, I don't see didn't hear any CSR activities. CSR activities, I think I've seen clubs organizing events and doing CSR. I think you should think about it as well as a club. Because it's one of the activities you can. But I think motorsport it's can even be aside from competition itself.
It is.
Even CSR activities are part of the sport.
No, you see, that is where we talked of non-championship. You see, now I didn't want to just bore the public down with all the list. So they are there, and we have a very good team that is preparing those. So that is definitely going to be there. But if he wants a list, he could actually send me an email on Mozak or whatever, and then we can give him the entire list of the activities. Yes.
Okay. Then good insights from Doctor. The future of the children is not that clear. He should expound on it. But he did talk about education and
the future of my children is that simple. That look, if you guys come forward and sponsor then the future of my kids is very bright. So whoever this gentleman is, please come forward and come and donate some money. I can give you my bank account.
Then he's donning the safari shirt. Any plans of him competing in the safari?
You see, I mean, that's a dream. I mean, that's what I'm working towards. So I'm just waiting for a little more hair to become grey. And then I'm ready for it.
Okay, then we seem to have
Participating in the classics.
Yeah, maybe.
By the way, for that gentleman's consumption, as Mozak, we are trying to tempt the classic to come to Elgon area. But now that's the cat out of the bag. Yeah. If anyone else does it, I'm going to sue you.
You don't have patent rights over that. Okay, then we seem to have organizational stroke departmental issues in motorsport. Doctors, what is the remedy towards that? Now we have a new constitution in place.
We have a constitution that now we have to make it work. The constitution has to work. Okay, it's good on paper. Everything looks good on paper. It's implementing where the challenge comes. And
where is the challenge in implementation? I'm asking as an administrator.
I'll tell you one thing. Mainly what happens is that sometimes we make papers that are good to read, but are not feasible in practice. You understand? Like I'll tell you, try and hold your your right knee with, I mean, I'll give you a very funny example, which is not possible, but it looks good on paper. Okay, so I think that once we go into this constitution and we test it, we'll know where it has hiccups, and then we are in a position to sit on a table and iron out the issues. Because the worst thing I think most sports have is we don't have people who are actively involved in the sport making those rules and regulations. You see, and that's, it's like me telling an engineer to create a dosage for the treatment of malaria. I mean, seriously, how?
It's a big ask.
So sometimes, I mean, I'm not going to point fingers at who's doing the wrong thing, but if you look at yourself, if you go back and look and see, you'll see at times people who are holding fort, they don't even know how a rally car looks. They've never sat in one.
Just a follow-up question. In the current constitution, do you see it as one of those things that you can say is good on paper but difficult to put in place?
Look, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, the kind of person I'm a bit, when it comes to a result-oriented person. So some of the things that I even argued over when we were working on the constitution was term limits. And I was actually shut up and said, these term limits are very good. And I said, look, today, a table, whether it sits here for 4 years or it sits here for 2 years, is still a table.
Yeah.
You understand? So I always believe that if you give people a shorter term, it gives them that challenge to work harder, faster.
So they leave a legacy behind.
You understand? So when you give them a term, they relax, I'll do it next year. Oh, I'll do it the year after.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing, 4 years, oh, we'll do a second term. So I have a feeling that we as the competitors, we as the people there, we need to be a little more result-oriented.
Okay. Then this is a bit, this one is a bit comic. He says, both Joe and Doctor, when Doctor gets back into competition, he should co-drive him because you have
See, Joe, we agree with the guy. Okay. He should get us an R5. Don't you agree, Joe? At our level, let him get us an R5. And we are going to brand it with his name everywhere.
Yeah.
And then do, which rally does he want?
Whichever. Cash is cash, and I don't know, maybe have to manage the team.
But Cash is manage the team. And don't forget Aaron Samba, I want him on board.
Chief mechanic.
Yeah.
Look, maybe my last one. The trend of cars.
Yes.
Do you feel that because now you have the Protos, you have the R5, of course the R5 is slightly more expensive. It's an arm and a leg to drive the R5. But maybe the Protos, do you think that you can maybe get back one day and sit into that?
I'll tell you one thing. Today, all over the world, we don't have skilled rally drivers. We have speed merchants. Because today's breed of car is speed oriented, not skill oriented.
Even the R5?
It's not skill. I mean, look at it this way. Take any driver, put him in an R5 and see the kind of speeds he is going to manage. Some of these cars are pretty automatic. They do a lot of things on their own. Okay. Now you put them in a standard GC8 or a Golf GTI, then see how the same driver drives. You'll be surprised. You see, and that's why you see classic. Why classic is getting the flavor and the fervor is because of that. Because guys who have R5s in Europe, they're saying, that sport of sideways, drifting sideways, the back going this way, that fun has been lost because the computer says, don't go sideways, keep it straight.
Yeah.
So you see, that skill is not there. You see, so now now again we come to that same thing. What are we looking for in the sport? I mean, as I told you before, that when I go into rally, I want to go with a clean car and come back with a clean car.
Yeah.
Someone else, some of my friends want to go in with a clean car, come back minus the bumper, the headlight, maybe even the navigator. So it all depends. It all depends on what you are looking for. But remember one thing: rally is for everyone.
Yeah.
Sports love it. The teams like it. It's stressful for the team, and it's fantastic for the driver and navigator if they play the game nicely.
Joe, our time is fast spent. Yes. I will allow you one question. The parting one. Never mind the nature of question as long as it is motorsport.
Doctor,
Yes, sir.
if you are given 6 months
Yes.
and said pick motorsport from where it is
Yes.
and turn it around,
Yes.
what will be your first 3 areas that you concentrate on?
Now, you are asking me a question that will get me thrown out of But on media.
You want to answer it off air?
Have you seen what they've said? That you can't take any federation to court.
Yeah.
So let's leave that, for another day.
Off air, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, Doctor, your parting shots to the audience and listeners out there?
I would like also just a quick and a point that I would like to put in is this, that all those competitors who failed to be appreciated during the Gomba autocross, we are looking at setting you up at a nice eatery in Manwe, which is called Moz, and we'll intimate with you the exact time and date where we would like you to come, and we apologize gravely for the delay in the prize giving. But at that same venue, we also want to pre-launch, because I don't want to step on our primary sponsor who have been so good. So we're just going to have that as a prize giving. So we will give you the dates and the time when you will come, avail yourself, come with your cars. Let's make it a day worth remembering. We don't want to overlap anyone's event. That's not our intention. If it happens, sorry. And let's go from there. Thank you.
All right, that's all we've got for you guys. Pleasure, Doctor. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Joe, thanks for joining us. Mama was
Anytime.
live as well as Lawrence. They were located, says they were not. That's all we've got for you guys. We'll get back next week with all the latest about sports. We are out.
Thank you.